All right, can you hear me this time? Staticky, how's that? Is that any better? I don't know what's going on in my audio. Everything was conspiring tonight and not really wanting to work. I couldn't log into YouTube and my camera seems like it was screwed up. So how's the sound now? Anybody that's watching there? Is it still just staticky? Hopefully that's better. I don't know what's going on. This microphone was acting weird and kind of being a piece of crap. So 7 people, cool. Anyway, so I'm Zach. If you're new to my channel, I make stuff. Oh, excuse me. It's I try to make this kind of like a casual Friday night hangout in the shop, and all good. Excellent, thank you, Michael. Yeah, so I try to make this kind of a casual hangout in the shop. I try to answer some questions, and yeah. So tomorrow's video is going to be going through all of my sanitary welding stuff. Move this over here a little bit. Got the zoomer out here. We went through each box. I try to explain, what's in each box and like why I carry what. And so that video will be going up tomorrow. And so if anybody else has any video ideas, I'm all ears. Try to be as helpful to people as possible. So some things that are going on here, or at least this week. Hey, Ryan, the entrepreneur, how's it going? Yeah, finally made it back on. I don't know why YouTube wouldn't let me go live for some reason. It was just acting weird. 4th reboot in the computer and everything seems to be a-okay finally. So, yeah. So, yeah, tomorrow's videos, like the sanitary tools there, they're going to go up. Probably going to be making some more sanitary welding videos here before too long. The shop here hasn't really made a whole lot of progress this week. I ended up having to go back to the company that I was working for. They called back and said that, yeah, they would go ahead and, pay what I had been charging them for the last 20 years. And so all is back there. I've got a couple of weeks worth of work there, and I don't know that after that I really want to do a whole lot with them, but it's kind of hard to turn down that kind of money. So yeah, that's great news. I'm kind of torn, honestly. I mean, the money is good, but also like I was really wanting to get the shop done here, which when I'm working for them, I generally work at least like a 10-hour day there. And then there's 4 hours or 3 hours of drive time, just kind of depending on what stupid road construction's going on. So it makes for a really long day. So I just do not have the, energy to actually work out here in the shop. So it's like the money's nice, but I like making videos. I like trying to grow the channel here and work in my shop, but you have to be able to pay for all that. So that's kind of a bummer, but yeah, so that started back up. And I guess this week, well, part of it is I'm kind of excited to get back into woodworking, and I'm kind of excited to start building some cabinets and stuff again. But I running on 4 or 5 hours sleep for a week, like I get a little stupid. And I get on auction sites, and that's kind of my entertainment. I watch for deals. And so I bought a belt sander this week. We'll go down and pick it up probably next week. I think I'm going to stick it in that back corner there. It's a Time Saver 36-inch wide belt sander, because I'm really excited to get back into doing like cabinetry and stuff like that. I really want to. I'm really into these like river pour tables. And the idea of just like having to flatten all that when, sand it out just seems really unappealing to me. So I'd been kind of watching, and I'd wanted, back when I had the cabinet shop days in the Oak Street house, I had really wanted like a wide belt sander, and I had a little Performax drum sander that was kind of a piece of junk. And anyway, I ended up getting a really, really cheap Time Saver wide belt sander. So I'll have to make a video going down and pick that thing up, and we'll probably stick it in that back corner over there and see what happens. I don't know that the big projects are going to continue from for Roseacre. Or, well, I guess I shouldn't say the name of the company. For the company that I work for there, see what happens there. But yeah, I have basically decided, like, okay, yeah, they're no longer going to be a big priority. Like getting my shop going here is the higher priority. But, you got to balance that with, money rolling in the door here to actually afford insulation and concrete and, stuff like that. Trying to decide what I'm going to do on the doors behind me here. I'm kind of noodling with taking and actually framing in these big doors. Whoops, these big doors behind me here. So if anybody has any thoughts on that one, I'd be interested. Kind of thinking about framing them in and just putting in some garage doors rather than those big sliding doors. Like those are nice for getting big stuff in and out of here and, for a breeze, but it's like, it just sucks to try to seal them up. So I'm trying to decide what I want to do there. I think by the time I buy a couple garage doors, or I might just put one in here for the time being and just go ahead and frame it in for two of them, just try and save a little bit of money. But so we'll see what happens. Yeah, do what makes me happy. Yeah, no, I would love to just hang out in here and make YouTube videos all day, but you got to have money, got to pay the bills. So the companies like that, it's kind of hard to walk away from because they have really deep pockets. And, I do some other work. Actually went up today to look at a project, just a small, day project there at a brewing company in Lafayette. The name escapes me. Just like fixing a pinhole in one of their tanks and cutting in a couple of valves. So that'll be kind of nice, close to homework like that. But it's like something like that. You're looking at $1,000 versus a big project for a larger company. I mean, you're looking at 20 grand, something like that. So you got to do a whole lot of those little ones to mount to one big project. But there's a whole lot less stress and just doing the little stuff. So it is what it is. Let's see. I see the Indiana Oxygen Tank. Great company. Oh, yeah. I absolutely love Indiana Oxygen. The Lafayette branch, those guys, Adam and the other guys are escaping me off the top, or escaping. They're great to deal with. The Indy store, I've noticed, like, they really stick it to me on pricing. But the Lafayette store, like, they're really good about, I mean, I'm not going in there begging for deals, but like, if I buy a lot of argon from them. So instead of charging me like $130 a bottle, they were charging me $100 a bottle. So it's like, I appreciate that. But great company. Yeah, they're really good to deal with. Let's see. He's the one in Marion. I've never been to that one. Yeah, that's the one on 71st Street there in Indy. Like they seem like they really, stick it to you. Shop's looking great. Thank you. And watching your videos for a while. Looking forward to upcoming projects. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, I haven't really made any progress on it this week. It's been, actually like working and doing paying work, but I'm pretty pleased with the progress on the shop here. I guess the one shaper, that 5 horsepower Matic behind me here, I actually got a little bit of time and worked on that some today and got it nearly put back together. I still got to get the power feeder cleaned up. But the shaper itself, fired right up and bearings sound good. And it sounds like it's, ready to eat some wood. I'm pretty excited about that one. The main thing I'm looking for now is a dust collector. I need to get rid of a bunch of stuff that's around here. So I've got, 10 years worth of, welding stuff that, and I'm not getting rid of all of it, but there's just stuff I bought for like one job. Or, I bought and never ended up using. There's a ton of stuff like that I need to sell. I'm planning on getting rid of all that stuff and to kind of fund the build out of the like the wood stuff in here. So I need to get a big dust collector. There was one I was looking at that was a 15 horse one that's like a big cyclone and a hopper, and it was like 25 feet tall. And it's like, I don't know if I want to go with that. It'd be nice to have it outside the shop and have the noise out there. But I mean, this thing was massive. So I think it was a little overkill for what I want. Plus that white belt sander, it's got a 25 horse motor and it's got a 20 horse motor on it. So powering that is going to be tricky. I only have currently a 100 amp circuit coming over here. So that will probably burn up that entire circuit. So I've got another couple 40 horse motors in the barn that I drug home for to build a phase converter out of. So I may end up having to put new bearings in one of those and actually get my phase converter going, because I don't know. We'll find out. I've got a 15 horse converter now, and I don't know if I have that, or if I have the converter running and then maybe have like the 10 horse table saw over here running, I might have enough current to start that wide belt sander. Running it, I can run a single phase breaker from the box back here over to it. But I need a lot of start current, so I don't know if that will have enough. We'll find out, and if not, we'll figure something out. I got it cheap enough where even if I decide not to keep it, I can probably sell it and make some money on it. So I'm pretty pumped about it. I shouldn't have bought it, but I kind of cruise auction sites and I look for deals, and I threw like $2,500 on it, and I was like, well, even if I don't end up using it, like I can sell it and not get hurt on it. So we'll see what happens. I'm kind of excited. Made it home. Oh, hey, Sparks, funny. Yep, made it home early enough. Yeah, I've been trying to do these 9 o'clock. I got a little bit of a late start today because I had to restart the computer, but I'm trying to do these well, let's see. What all did you miss? I ended up going back to work for the company I was doing work for. They decided they would go ahead and pay what I was, charging before without complaining. I bought a wide belt sander, and I haven't really done a whole lot of work on the shop here because I've been up at their plant for the last week working. And so, yeah, that's not been fun. I don't really miss, doing like the 14-hour days, because usually I'll hang out for at least 10 hours on site. And then I got 3 hours of drive time. And then, oh God, yeah. So if you're on Instagram, my buddy Tab and I are doing like another live stream where we just kind of do like a podcast, and check that out. I am I'm a Cozy Gun, ACOZYGUN on there. It's an anagram for my name. I have a Darlington Farm account, but nobody ever watches it or checks it out. But anyway, he's Crosscut Tab. We're doing a podcast kind of deal. So check that out. And we're doing our worst jobs tomorrow. So I spent one day this week. I somehow or other got roped into like helping grind epoxy flooring out of a room. We're doing like some upgrades to a bagging room, which is basically like they have a big cyclone up above. They have egg powder in the cyclone. It drops down into an auger and then goes out to a bagging machine for like 50-pound bags. And then on the other side of the room, the auger, depending on which direction the feed is in the middle of the auger, and then you reverse the rotation on the auger, so it can either feed over to a bagger and drop into it, or feed the other way and drop down into a tote filler. And I think I'm probably going to be involved in that project. Anyway, I have a buddy that owns a company that does a lot of concrete work, and so I borrowed a concrete grinder and off of him to use up there. And I just thought I was taking it up there and dropping it off and saying, have fun, guys. But one of their maintenance guys didn't show up for work. And so like I got roped into grinding concrete for like 10 hours. That sucked. I've got like a big 8-inch, angle grinder with a diamond wheel in it and a big freaking tube. And you've got a full face respirator on. And just like, it sucked. Like that, was not fun. Sound like a bunch of work going on. Well, thank you. Let's see. Yeah, they do always come crawling back because, I think I mentioned last week, I'm not one of the more expensive ones around. I mean, like as far as like rig welders go, I guess I'll just come out and say it. I charge $135 an hour, port to port. That's just what I charge. They didn't want to pay the travel on it. They just want to pay for on-site. So I ended up saying, no, I'm good. I'm staying home. It's like almost 4 hours of driving every day to get to that one plant. Anyway, so I ended up, they called back later and said, well, however you want to do it, we need this done. So I'm back up there, but let's see. Yeah, they come crawling back. I kind of had a feeling they would, because I still have a bunch of their stuff out there and I know how everything works and where all the bodies are buried and that kind of thing. No, unfortunately, I don't actually have 3-phase. So I have 200 amp service coming into the farm here. I've got 100 amp going to the house, and then I've got 100 amp coming out here to the barn. And then this barn feeds the other barns. If meter bases and stuff ever actually drop, like right now, or like last year, you could get like a 400 amp meter base for like $300. Like right now, last I looked, they were over 1,000 here. I found some on eBay, but they were used and still really expensive. When they come down, I'm going to go ahead and put a 400 amp service in here. But I can't see spending so much money when I can kind of get by right now. But I've got a 15 horse American Rotary phase converter mounted on my back wall there, and then the idler motor is outside the building. I've got a couple of 40 horse motors. I was going to make like a 40 horse one, but too cheap, man. Oh, we'll see how that goes. Too cheap. Hey, okay. So actually, I'm curious. How much do you think I should charge an hour? Like I'm kind of curious. They're heavy or Sparks Mobile. I'm curious because like around here, like I am like by far the most expensive person. There's a couple of companies that do sanitary work in around my area that are mechanical contractors, but like they're crappy, and I guess they are a little more money. But yeah, I'm curious. Wait, you're a gun guy. That's great. Okay. Well, I don't know how you figured that one out, but yeah, I do like my things that go pow pow. American Rotary can't start my damn lathe anymore with someone. Huh. Maybe check your capacitors. I don't know. I've had that. Well, I've got two American Rotaries. I've got a 10 horse in the other shop, and then this 15 here. And I should have, when I did this, just gone ahead and done the 40. I had a couple of 40 horse motors, and then I had a 15 horse motor. And the box for this one was like $400, and the box for the 40s I think was like $800. I should have just gone ahead and done the bigger one. But I may. The only thing in here that I really need that 44 is going to be that wide belt sander. And if it'll start, the main motor on it is a 25 horse. So I'm wondering if I have the generated leg from there, plus if I have my table saw over here running because it's got a 10 horse, if that would be enough to start the 25 horse. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But hopefully it works. I don't know. We'll see. If not, I mean, it's not the end of the world to wire in another phase converter. I mean, I have the motor, the expensive part. So we'll see what happens with that. But I'm pretty excited to, to get that going whenever it gets here. I've got a whole bunch of walnut over there. If you go back in really my old videos, like 10 years ago, we had a walnut tree blow down on the farm over here. And I went through and used a chainsaw and milled up most of it. And that stuff has been drying now for like 10 years in my barn. So I'm pretty excited to in California. Different. Wow, 165 port to port. That's crazy. I'm curious, where in California are you? Like my wife's family or wife is from like Orange County there. So I'm curious what part of California you're from. Tiller wiring, so you lost me a capacitor. Yeah, I like the wiring part. Actually, that's part of the only or one of the main reasons. Like, I actually was not just totally done with that company up there. Like the CIP project. So basically, CIP, or so we did like an install of a spray or of a heat exchanger on the spray dryer. So basically, it is a big box. They blow hot air into it from a natural gas burner. They spray liquid egg into it, and it goes into a series of spray nozzles. And then as it falls through the box, by the time it gets to the bottom of the dryer, there it's evaporated. The water is evaporated out, so you just get powder. But they're recycling the heat to or the waste heat or the waste exhaust rather to preheat the intake air. And anyway, like that, it got clogged up. So I was building a deal that would run hot water through it, or a clean in place setup. So that I think I did a video on it, but that had that big tank in here, and then there's a bunch of pumps there's a 10 horse pump that sprays 200 gallons a minute of the water into the machine. There's another one that pulls it out because I couldn't get enough gravity to feed it. And it ties into the PLC or the control for the plant there. And I'm actually kind of excited about doing that because I don't do as much of that as I would like. So I got to get some IO cards for the PLC and tie it into like some solenoids to make the pneumatic valves work, and then some drives for the motors and stuff. So that actually is the kind of part I was looking forward to because I've got some experience in that, but not as much as I would like. So I was kind of excited about that. Pipe dope and greasy holes. Let's see. What do you got? Oh, North California, Sacramento. Oh, okay. Sacramento. Yeah. I am from a little bit further north there. My wife went to college in Humboldt. I really like that area up there. But yeah, Sacramento is nice there. I really like that. You ever tapped a rusty hole? Let's see some Indiana farm girls. Like that out there, more like Boilermakers, but they're far more expensive than I am, huh? Repair flooding there. No, we had some pretty good rain earlier this year, but no, it's been pretty decent. Yeah, how's it out there with the atmospheric river there? I've seen pictures of like the Bay Area there just got like hosed. That's pretty crazy. Let's see. Central Valley. Oh, Central Valley. Okay, Merced. I'm not familiar with Merced, but I've driven through the Central Valley there. That's pretty area. Let's use purge plugs, saw blocks. Oh yes. Hey, Austin. Yes, I do use purge plugs. I use the Purge Dragon ones, and the saw blocks. I use the Tech South ones. Actually, check out in the morning. The video will go up for going through all of my sanitary welding stuff here. So we go through every box. I kind of say like, hey, here's why I carry it, and so it's like 30 minutes long of just explaining what's in each box and the logic behind it. So check that video out. It'll be out in the morning. But yeah, Purge Dragon, those are the ones I use. I talk about it in the video. They're really decent. I can't say anything bad about them. They're kind of expensive. I want to say they're like $600. You can get them for pipe. You can get them for tubing. I actually wouldn't mind having a set per pipe. But I don't do enough pipe to really justify having them, but they're super nice for tubing. Just, perfect. Merced is about to flood, and word on the street is the big valve at the bottom of the dam. Oh, crap. That's crazy. Heavy snow melt. Oh yeah, actually, I was watching a video earlier where they're talking about the snow melt getting ready to be just like horrendous. So yeah, that sucks. So you had like the dry. Oh, you don't like this away. That's pretty country, but yeah, man, when you get into like the mountains there, like, man, if you're down at the bottom and you get a flash flood through there, it's like, I don't know what you do other than just die. I mean, that's crazy. It's kind of like we were down in West Virginia, and like I think it was the last year they had some flooding down there, and you kind of see some of the debris of like stuff washed up. But it's like with the mountains there, it's like other than head to higher ground, like I don't know what you do, just kind of wait it out. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, check out next week or tomorrow's video. And then, hey, if anybody has any ideas that are things they'd like to see for next week's video, I still haven't come up with an idea for that one yet. And I'm trying to line out Fridays making a video. So kind of gives me 4 days because I've been doing 12 and 14-hour days. So I get plenty of time in that. And then it actually gives me 3 days off. So it gives me Friday to make a video. Let's see. Well, you're light on the bottom side of the dam. Oh, shit. Oh, yikes. Yeah. Seen that down at Lake Monroe, down in, southern Indiana there, like where stuff, like they open the floodgates on the dam. And I mean, it's just, wrath of God kind of flow out of there. So yeah, my sympathies, man. Yeah. It's like, yeah, definitely it makes us paid up. That's crazy. I'm trying to post video, but having issues editing sound. What editing software do you use? So I use Adobe Premiere. It's not real expensive. If you get you have to get it through the subscription. I want to say it's like $10 a month or something like that. It's not too bad. You get like Adobe Premiere, you get like Photoshop, you get like Lightroom, and some of the other Adobe like content creator kind of stuff. And there's a little bit of a learning curve, but the nice thing if you go with that, or if you're like an Apple person, if you go with iMovie, I think it is, like if you just get on YouTube, you can find a tutorial on how to do whatever you want. Like it's, that would be my recommendation. It would be like finding one of those ones that like is kind of like the standard, because then if you want to watch or you want to learn how to do something, it's easy too. That's throwing up shorts. Oh yeah, shorts have been doing really good. Like does any of you guys watch the shorts I put up? Like it seems like I've been gaining a lot of subscribers for them. And oh, most of the shorts viewers only view shorts, and like most of the seems like most of the the repeat people like watch the videos. TikTok is another one too. If you're into that, they're like I really enjoy like TikTok. Like they're just kind of making stupid videos, and it's kind of like no pressure. Let's see. Ever had that long? Very funny. Very funny. Yes, actually, I did. Funny. It has yeah. Jay Wood there. Yeah, it's like, have I ever had the long hair catch on fire? Yeah, actually, a while ago, I had some sticking out from under my welding cap, and I actually plugged their welding caps by Lori. She's on Instagram and like has an Etsy store. Like she was really nice. I met her at FabTech, like I want to say in 2019, but I get the really tall ones where it kind of covers your ears because I like to leave earbuds in. It kind of pushes them in there. But had some sticking out the back when I was welding aluminum, like MIG welding aluminum up on a ladder. And I'm going along, and I had a hoodie on, and I was like, God, what does that smell? Like, oh God. And I was like, oh shit, my head's on fire. So yes, I have, and it was not the most fun thing. Well, let's see. Yeah, don't have TikTok yet, but hear lots of guys post. Oh yeah, there's a lot of welding, like cool welding stuff on there. Like there's a lot of just tool like tricks and things like that I, one of the plants I do a lot of work in, I'm kind of friends with the maintenance manager there, and he is like really big on TikTok. Like I think he lives on there, but like he'll send me all these like cool tool like hacks and like just things you'd never think to do with different tools. And it's like, oh, I'm saving that one. Like I never would have thought of that, but like, so there's really good stuff on there if you are have to like, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of good, good stuff on there. I enjoy it. Like I don't, my kids will stay all day just like flipping through, but like, watch your time on there. And there's definitely some cool stuff on there and some interesting stuff you can learn. Wanting new caps to see why I joined these. Oh yeah, Lori, I got one in my toolbox here. I'll show you. Like they're really great. Yeah, so these are the ones from Welding Caps by Lori. They're pretty reasonably priced. She are on the eBay store or Etsy store there. I want to say they're like $20 or $25, something like that. And if you buy a bunch of them, you get a discount. I've been buying just like 5 at a time, but like these are the tall ones. So like it can kind of cover your ears good and then covers the back of your neck. So like I really like these, and they've held up really well actually, other than burning holes in one of them. Like I've not had any of them fall apart yet. So they're, I really like them. I can't say anything bad about her. I met her, like I said, at FabTech, and she was pretty nice. So small business there. I forget where we're out of. I want to say somewhere in Illinois. So seemed like a decent person. I'm happy to support some other small business. So she definitely gets the thumbs up there. Well, let's see. Wanting new cabs. The smell of head on fire. That is never fun. Like actually the worst burn I've ever gotten while welding was this right here. You can see that. I was doing a reinforcement job at an apartment complex, and I was just finishing it up right as the building inspector showed up, and like he was kind of a weird dude, and I didn't really know how to take him, and so like I was doing some overhead MIG, and just this huge blob of crap like went down in between my glove and my leather jacket and just hung out there. And like right as the building inspector showed up, and I was like, oh hi, like and it burnt down all the way through the skin and left a cool looking scar. It's more noticeable like when definitely the worst worst one I've ever gotten while I was welding. Let's see. Michael, I hate shorts. Yeah, I'm with you there. Honestly, like I like TikTok, but I'm not a huge YouTube short fan. Although I've gotten a lot of subscribers from there. And I've put up some shorts that actually have done really well. Some of them have gotten, 10, I think I had one that hit like 50,000 views. That to, just like my regular videos. But yeah, there's a few things on there that I do like. I believe it's like J Funk FPV or something like that. Really funny dude that, like critiques crappy tool videos. So he's kind of funny, but that's not the only thing on shorts that I actually found that's kind of entertaining. Let's see, the smell of head on fire. Yeah, no, definitely don't like getting my head set on fire. That's no fun. Yeah, I was gonna say, like I said, that's the worst one I've ever gotten. Definitely got lots of 60-10 burns, but like that was real nasty. Like it burnt all the way through the skin and was really gross looking. It took like, months to heal. What the hell? Yikes. Yeah, that's no fun. Yikes. Yeah, that's no fun. I've had it go down and then burn a hole through my pants in and then bounce out. I will tell you, if I was TIG welding, I would just set the torch when I was done in between parts, like down on my lap. And did that one day while I was, sitting in the stool. And that tungsten is really, if you're doing like aluminum and really high amperage, like that tungsten stays hot for a long time. So I set it down on my lap and it burned a hole through my pants, through my underwear, through some skin into something that you really don't want a hot piece of, tungsten burning in there. And then when I went to get up, I hit the foot pedal and that high frequency start went through the skin into something you really, really don't want to, high frequency start to go to. And yeah, that's the absolute worst I've ever done. Like, yeah, it didn't leave a huge scar or anything, but like, yeah, that was bad. Drain. That guy is hysterically funny. Drain cleaning. Huh. I will, I'll have to check drain cleaning out. Yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you. High frequency start to a hole in your nuts. That was not fun. Yeah, never, ever, ever again do I set the TIG torch in my lap. Yeah, that was not fun. Yeah, that was bar none the worst. Actually, I'm going to use that one on the Instagram live tomorrow. I'd forgotten about that until just now. Smashed off the end of this finger here using cutting aluminum and a chop saw. But like I tell you what, high frequency to the nuts. That was way worse. That was worse than is that worse than electric fence? Yes, because it's coming from inside of you. Yes, absolutely. We've got my neighbor runs his cows on our farm here, and I got tired of them pushing through the electric fence over the summer because usually about August here, it gets kind of dry. The corn goes to tassel, and the cows get crazy. And so I got in the biggest charger I could find. I want to say it's like a 5 joule charger. I think it's rated for like 100 miles of fencing. You get into that sucker, and it will knock you on your ass. But it's like a jolt. It's not like a continual like just like that, like the high frequency start when it's stuck inside of you. Yeah, that was bad. Yeah, I love those big electric fence chargers because the cows, they go and mess with. Actually, it's usually not the cows; it's the calves, and the calves will go up and mess with it. And if it's not a very strong shock, they'll just barge on through it and do whatever they want to do. But that first time you put out that 100-mile charger, it zaps the crap out of them. They leave it alone, and I don't have to chase them. So I don't like chasing cows. I will say that's one thing. My neighbor runs his cows on our place here, and we don't charge him anything. He usually gives us a half beef every year. Really good arrangement. But I will say it is really satisfying when it is the cow, the calf, because usually the cows, they make you money. You breed them every year. They crap out another calf. So the cows you keep, the steers or like the calves, they go to the butcher. When you have a particularly annoying calf that will go through the fence or just tear stuff up, it is really gratifying when they get turned into steaks. Like the other day we had a number 619 It was good. It was like, oh yeah, 619. This guy, yeah, he was a pain in my butt. He's really delicious. So yeah, there is that. Let's see. What else we got going on here? Oh wow, we got 10 people on here. That's cool. Yeah, I'm trying to make these a like a regular thing. Also, Saturday nights on Instagram there with at a cozy gun is my handle, and Crosscut Tab is my buddy. We're doing one on there. It's kind of like a podcast. Actually, it looks like YouTube just made it to where you can do it on YouTube as well. So I might try to figure out a way if we can do both. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it yet. We're just kind of getting it going, but it seems like we've gotten some pretty good traction over there, and it's it's neat. He was a furniture and cabinet maker for a long time, and kind of has a different perspective on things, and it's fun. We like hanging out there and just chatting and hanging out with people. So I like doing this one too. I'd like to maybe see if I could bring some other people in that I know. It's kind of difficult to get schedule wise, but it would be kind of fun to bring somebody else on, and we could just kind of talk. Turn one of my aunt's evil cows into freezer meat. Oh yes, that is so gratifying when one that's just a total pain in the butt just goes into the freezer and eat them. That is yes. Hey, Jay Wood. Yes, I am in Indiana. I'm in northwest Indiana. Not usually, if you're from this area, you call the Northwest up near Chicago, like Gary, Hammond, like that kind of area, Northwest. I am about halfway between, well, not quite, maybe about a third of the way between Indianapolis and Chicago, if that tells you anything. But yeah, just kind of out here in the country. Really like it out here. Close enough where the nice thing about being kind of where we are is, we're out in the country, but I'm close enough to Indianapolis, which is the capital of Indiana. And it's actually for Indiana, it's a real city. I want to say it's like 700,000 people, something like that. So there's a lot of work down there, and I really should be better about like going to Indy and looking to Indianapolis for work. Cause I've had a couple people down there tell me like, I charge $135 an hour for rig welding, and just flat out tell me like, you're way too cheap. Like, dude, you need to raise your prices. So I really need to look more in that direction. Let's see. Turned out to be real tasty. Yep, absolutely. Probably the sweet taste of revenge. Yep, absolutely. Am I from? So no, I'm not from this area originally. I'm from Indiana. I'm from Southern Indiana, so it is very different. Like when you go kind of south of Indianapolis, so Indiana is kind of fairly like a long and skinny state. Indianapolis is the capital. It's like right there in the middle. I'm kind of up north, not close to Chicago. I'm about 2 hours away from Chicago. But you get down in southern Indiana, and it is much more like Appalachia down there. It's hills and hollers. Like the glaciers came down from Canada, and they got a little bit past Indianapolis, right around Martinsville, and stopped. It is much different down there than it is up here. Like I said, it is much more like Appalachia. I mean, I grew up like in a very rural area down there. I knew people that were like, their families had been there probably since there were white people settled there. Like in the 30s, the government came in and built a big reservoir down there. And I mean, these are families that are still very angry about having their land taken, and by that. And it's kind of interesting, but there's places down there that are very I guess progressive, more modern. But then like you get out in the sticks, and like I said, it is much more kind of like West Virginia. Millwright work for FedEx and Indy around the airport. Yeah, let's see, Ryan, the entrepreneur, my friend, has been doing millwright. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on down there. I have a buddy that owns a big machine shop, actually not too far from the airport there, just off Ronald Reagan, I think it is, or Airport Expressway. I forget the name of the road, but he's over there in that area. And man, it's a little bubble. I don't know what the deal is, but up here in my area, like most of the other welders charge like $55 an hour. And I'm not going to
rig weld for that. But like you go down towards India, like I said, like I've had police tell me I'm just flat out too cheap. And I mean, I charge 135 port to port, and like they just say, "Oh, cool, you're too cheap." I don't know. I need to go after more work down in that area, but it's kind of, you got to drive to the big city, and it's just kind of a pain. But yeah, it'd be a good gig. Let's see what else we got here. Very pretty country out there. Used to build cell towers. Oh, funny. That's cool. Yeah, I used to actually climb towers. So when I worked for, well, long before any of this, I worked for Motorola and did worked on police and fire radios. And so yeah, cell phone towers. Been there, done that. Dropped a cell phone off of one about 300 feet up. Used to climb, have to change light bulbs. This is back 20 years ago when I was still in my 20s. And yeah, I was the new person in the office, and so I got to go do all that stuff. So it was fun. Let's see. Very cool. Yeah, 55 an hour. There you go. Yeah, Sparks there. Honestly, don't understand how you make any money. Honestly, I don't either. Even at 135, like I'm thinking next year I'm gonna up my rates. I was at 130 last year. I went to 135 this year, and I don't know. I'm actually thinking about selling my SA 300 and maybe my Pipe Pro, and I want to get more into do more shop work. I'm just kind of burned out on, I like welding, but like it's really nice working here. But it is really hard to get away from that kind of money. I mean, yeah, I'm torn. There's days where I'm like, screw this, I'm done. But then there's other days that it's like, oh yeah, I actually do like rolling up in the truck. And then, kind of when you go out, do one job, send a bill for it and never come back to that same place. That's what I like. It's just really like this kind of long-term sort of work. Like I've been working at this one plant in Northern Indiana for 4 years now, I think it is. And, kind of on and off. And, when they have money, I come up and work. And it's like, I like a couple of people that I work with there, but it's like, I'm kind of tired of the same place. Plus, the drive. But it's one of those deals where it's like, it's kind of hard to get away from the money. Let's see. Mobile Sparks there. Oh yeah, fun living in hotels. Yeah, I'm over that one too. I guess in 2019, that was kind of the last of my big hotel days. So before that, like I was doing a lot of work for the same company, like kind of all over the country. Like I did a lot of work in Iowa. Actually, I want to say it was like 18 or 19. I spent almost 6 months in like a hotel in Iowa working out there. And it's like, I'm done. Yeah, I like sleeping in my own bed. I'm definitely over that one. It's, yeah, not fun. I mean, it's kind of fun for a little bit, but and if you could actually like get out and like do stuff or like look around to be one thing, but usually when I go on a trip like that, it's to make money. And I'm there like 14 hours a day working, and you basically like work, go to the hotel and sleep, go back, work, go to the hotel and sleep. And then I would usually try to keep my trips limited to about 10 to 15 days, something like that. And you do that for 10 or 15 days in a row. I mean, it just grinds you down. It's like your life just kind of disappears. So it's like the money's good, but it just sucks. But the money's good. And I mean, I'm not somebody that goes back and, drinks or anything like that. Like, so I just usually would go, eat dinner and go back and go to bed. So not super fun. Let's see. Yeah, I hate going on business trips. Yeah, it's like I do like to travel, but like actually like over spring break, my kids and I went down to, well, my wife too, like went down to West Virginia, like so the New River Gorge area. Beautiful scenery. Like I'd never been down to like that part of the country before, and it's actually really cheap. We went down there and stayed. It was only like I want to say we spent maybe like $1,500. For a week between like, eating and, staying in the hotel and gas and everything. And then we popped down to Virginia for a while. And it was a really cool trip. Did a lot of hiking, like a lot of just beautiful scenery down there. Hiked down to an abandoned coal mine and hiked back up the mountain, which for somebody that lives in the pancake of northern Indiana, like hiking in the mountains was rough. Yeah, I'm like, out of shape, fat, and live someplace up here where it's not quite Oklahoma flat, but it's pretty flat. And it's like, whew, yeah, that was rough going up that one staircase. It was like 800 or 900 stairs, but it was worth it. It was a neat trip. I actually would like to go back down there. 3-week stint earlier this year. Hey, if you're getting 100K for 3 weeks there, sign me up for that one. I could do that one. Yeah, I'll go spend 3 weeks in a hotel for that kind of money. Oh, Bridge Day. Yeah, actually, I remember seeing that where they close off the New River Gorge. Yeah, that actually looks like it would be kind of fun. Actually, we checked out the Mothman Museum and the Flatwoods Monster Museum. I'm kind of a nerd for cryptids and stuff like that. So that was another cool one there in Point Pleasant. And name of the town of the Flatwoods one where the museum is kind of escapes me. But really neat. But yeah, actually Bridge Day would be really cool to check out. Yeah, that New River Gorge Bridge is just like an amazing piece of engineering. I mean, you see it's all riveted together, and it's like, man, they got just thousands of tons of steel like way up there. Like it's very impressive. There's like a hiking trail that kind of goes down underneath it, and then I think they do a tour where you can like clip in and like walk underneath the bridge. And I want to say it was like 800 feet up in the air, but it was expensive. It was like $75 a person. And we're like, yeah, there's 5 of us. I don't think we're going to do that. We'll go walk underneath. But it was a cool trip. Custom architectural cell tower. Huh. That's pretty crazy. Go down there. Huh. Yeah, I have funny. There used to be another welding shop like right down like I could see from our farm. He did like reinforcements for cell towers. Like, I don't know. Didn't seem like the kind of thing I'd want to do. Like lots of heavy stuff, but give them the screw you price. Yeah. Yeah. I've been doing that lately, that give people the screw you price. And like, I've only gotten told no like once. And it was on a pipe job in Indy where it was all like 6-inch Schedule 10 pipe for like a big chiller. And like the mechanical contractor was providing all the pipe, and like all I was doing was labor. And I think I figured it was like 3 weeks. And I think I quoted him like 35,000 to do it all. And that's the first time actually like within the last couple of years that I've done something like that. And they went with somebody else. So like, yeah, like Indy, yeah, the Indy metro area there, like that's really the only time I've ever had somebody like not go with me when I gave him the fuck you price. Like it's an interesting little bubble there. It's nice compared to like I said up here, there's a guy down the road here has a gorgeous truck, like nice Dodge with a SA 200 that he bought new, like in the 60s. Like, he's an older gentleman. I've only met him a couple times, but he's like, pipe, just like pipeliner, but like he does work on farms and stuff around here. And like, he's like 55 an hour. There's a machine shop up the road from us here that their shop rate's like $40 an hour. And it's like, why? How can you keep the doors open at $40 an hour? Like, that's the reason. I mean, I have the machine, I have the two lathes, the mill, and the other stuff, and the other shop over there. But like, I don't go after machining work because around here, it's like, there's no money in it. Like, you can't. And even in Indianapolis, like, I have a buddy there that has a big machine shop that, like, I mean, he charges less for machining than I do for welding. It's like, he's got some big, like a Sydney horizontal that'll turn like a 6-foot part that's 30 foot long. And it's like, he only charges like $89 an hour. And it's like, dude, like, how is it worth it for that? I don't know, but not something that I would be willing to work for. Wow, 180 an hour. See, that would actually be worth it if I could get, that kind of money out of it. Like, I would totally do machining, but like around here, like I said, yeah, it's just not worth it. Water tank, they all had to be the way now go. Let's see, wait, here's in the screw price. Water tank, they all have to be that way now in California, I guess. Heavy galvanized. Ugh, yeah, heavy galvanized sucks. Did a project at the Purdue Vet School last year, I think it was. And like, everything was super heavy galvanized. It was all heavy wall, Schedule 80, like posts and fence panels and stuff like that. It was Not fun. 8010 is definitely your friend on fence pan or on heavy galvanized like that, or 6010. Man, that we were running, had guys running NR211, guys running NR233, like 16th inch 233, I think it was. And then I was running 8010, 3/16 8010s off on my Pipe Pro. And I could get 4 welds done for every 1 weld you could do with the 233, like that flux core. Like it was smoking that other stuff. Home or leaving the state or retiring. Well, same way around here with retiring. Like like I said, I have a buddy there in Indy like he every time I go in there, most of the guys come up and are like, "Hey, how you doing? I just, I want to try and remember what 40 feels like. I just want to touch you." Like most of the guys in there are in their 60s and 70s. Like there's just no manual machinists anymore. Like, yeah, he said that basically like, well, when these guys all retire, we just close the doors on that part of the business and like sell it all and then just move in a bunch of CNCs. So it's kind of sad, but I don't know what you do. Let's see, good machine shops. Yeah, well, good for them. I mean, yeah, if you're the only ones left and willing to put up with everything, make some money. Can I do 3D modeling? Have you ever considered getting a CNC mill? Yes, I use Fusion 360. It's kind of like your cheapest decent CAD, at least that I've found. There's lots of tutorials on YouTube for Fusion 360. I did have a really junky CNC mill that I got at an auction. Moved it into the garage. Actually, if you go back and look at my videos and look at how not to move a CNC, I think it's called, we loaded it with an excavator. It was a piece of junk. I'd like to get a small Haas mini mill or something like that, but I don't know if I will at some point. But yeah, it's something I thought about. But like I have a buddy in Indy where if I need something and like I can slip it in between his jobs, so it's like, meh. Let's see. And 232 flux core on top. Good times. Talk about some nice burns. Oh yeah, I hate 233. Like the XLR. Yeah, I've heard good stuff about the XLR8. I've never seen it for sale around here. Like I've never needed it enough. Like the only times I've ever bought 233 is when I was at the start. I was doing a project and it was like I need it right now. But yeah, that stuff is just not fun. It looks. I mean, I guess I take that back. I tried running it off of a Trailblazer and like I never could get it to run the way I thought or run to where I thought it looked good. I ran it off of that Vantage that I used to have, and it was everything that Vantage 300 could do to keep up with it. I mean, it was like I ran it one day until my leads were smoking. But like I've got a buddy that runs like all they do is structural steel and like like bar truss reinforcement and stuff like that. And he just swears by that stuff, but it's, I just don't like running it. Haas, yeah. Oh, yeah. If I do ever get a CNC mill, it's going to be probably like a Haas, like a VF3, I think. I think a mini mill would be kind of fun to have, but it's like, a VF3 would at least get you big enough work area to actually do some real work. But I don't know. I'm kind of just burned out on metalworking. I'm kind of interested to see if I can get back in and make some money doing cabinets. Let's see, have to order it here. Yeah, if I did more of that, I definitely would give it a try. If you've ever seen like IC Weld, I believe he uses a lot of XLR8, and but I just don't. I think I had one spool sitting around for like 4 years here before I finally opened it and used it on that Purdue job. Hey, unkinder pine. Hey, hi. Yeah, I was trying to think of what I use. 211, NR211. I use a fair amount of that in 045 for galvanized, like this thin stuff. It runs really nice. I don't believe it's a totally structural thing, but it's, oh, hi, Pine. Sorry. Yeah, I was like underkinder pine. Yeah, hi, Pine there. Yeah, so NR211. If you're, I don't think it's really rated for like structural steel and stuff like that, but for smaller galvanized stuff, it just lays a bead in there beautiful. Like the 045 works really well. 035 on like 1/8 inch wall stuff works pretty well, but like if you're doing a little bit of thicker stuff, like 045 just runs really nice, like with the galvanized, like it just lays in a real slick bead, nice and flat, just really, really great. Oh yeah, let's see. 21B. Yeah, I don't recognize 21B or but I don't do a whole lot of like that kind of work. Like I mostly just TIG, and I mean, there's days where, I spent last week up at a brewery where I was chasing down cracks in it. I used like in an entire day of welding, I used like that much of a stick of 3/32 filler. So like, yeah, I don't know. It wasn't even 3/32. It was 16th filler. So I just, I try to stick with stuff like that. Let's see. Oh yeah, Isaac's videos. Yeah, Isaac, he was really nice. I met him at FabTech in 19. Really super nice dude. Yeah, I followed him on Instagram for a long time, but like, yeah, really, really seemed like a good dude. Super. I talked with him for probably 10 minutes there at that marker booth, and like, he's a really, really nice dude. Let's see. He's all 16th or 072. Yeah. Yeah, most of the time, like I'll use TIG filler that's 16th. I don't. I've run a couple of rolls of 211 or 233 to 16th inch, but yeah, wow. I like my light, clean stuff. Or generally, I guess like I'll stick, if I'm out, I'll stick weld stuff. But yeah, wasted 233-pound rolls. Oh, good grief! You had to run 2 rolls of that. Wow, that's that's a lot of wire, man. My hat is off to you. Yeah, my buddy there that like they do structural steel. I want to say, I think he said his guys usually will run about 3 rolls a day, like when they're really rolling. It's like, man, that's a lot of welding. Like, no thanks. Did you use? Let's see. Did you used to use the? Oh yes. So actually, I think I got one of my. Yeah, I got one of my T-shirts on. Yeah. So I used to go have the business name. Well, it was Peacefield Welding. So I can tell you the story of all this. So in 2011, I believe it was, my wife and I bought the farm here. That was the name of the farm from like however many years or whatever ago. So originally it was Peacefield Farm. We used to do like a market garden and like a CSA and all that. Realized there is no money in like market gardening. So used to open the cabinet shop there, Peacefield Wood Products. Dumb name, never liked it. And then Peacefield Welding is after I got out of that. Changed the name of the business away from welding because I really got tired of people like calling and wanting to know if I'd weld their muffler back on and just dumb stuff like that. And also trying to tell somebody Peacefield over the phone was like, it was awful to give out your email address. So I changed it to Hoosier Stainless because most people can spell Hoosier and most people can spell stainless. I kind of don't know that I kind of wish I'd have done something a little different at the time I was doing. That was, I guess, what, 2 or 3 years ago. I guess it's about 3 years ago now. I was basically doing nothing but like food plant work. And yeah, I've kind of gotten tired of it now. So I kind of wish I'd have gone with a more generic name like Zach Builds or something like that. Let's see. Did you use the name? Oh God, I have to remove the tracks. Oof. Yeah, my hat is off to the guys that do like heavy equipment repair. That's a lot of work. Like, yeah, I'll stick with my, welding and like rubber gloves and a lab coat. That's more. Let's see. Yeah, the glories of the will you weld my muffler? Yeah, I had a guy at one point like drag a like Chevy, I don't know, it was like a mid, 90s Chevy out here, where the frame on it was like cracked in half and all that was holding it together was like the drive shaft and like the electric stuff. And like he brought it out here one day when I wasn't here and like was miffed when I was like, no, I will not fix that. But it's like, yeah, ever since I took welding out of the name of the business, like that seems like that has dropped off. But I mean, it's yeah, you would have people like, hey, can you come like drive? Actually, I had one guy that was really miffed that I wouldn't drive to Indy for $20 to like weld his muffler back on. I'm like, you realize I'm an hour away. And even if I was like closer, I still wouldn't drive to your house and weld your muffler back on for $20. It's like, no, I'm sorry. Like, I get you're in a bind, but like that doesn't even pay my fuel to get there. Like, sorry. Let's see. Not sure if it's one of those year-old machines. Let's. Oh wait, I bought a used Dynasty 200 with two-piece field. If you what? Jabberwocky. Hey, if you bought a Dynasty 200 DX with two Peace Field stickers on it, that probably was mine because I sold mine a couple of years ago. That's hilarious. Yeah, that is really funny. Yeah, I that probably was my welder. Let's see. And some short showings of it. Nice. Had a guy drop an aluminum boat and it looked like it went through the crusher and wanted me to fix it. Yeah, I mean, I hate to be a dick to people, and I get like, there's a truck stop down the road from us here, and I mean, it's usually like 4 or 5 a year where somebody calls and it's like, hey, you're like camper, like seems like every camper call is like there's like this little piece of C bracket out of like really thin ass metal for holding up the leaf spring on a camper like that, but like they'll crack right there where the weld is. And it's like, the people are broke down over there, and like I'll tell them like, I don't do this kind of work, and I don't, like I don't want to come fix it, but like if you're in a pickle, like man, I'll come over, and like yes, I can do it, and I'll come over and and I usually ask people for a Google review. Gotten decent reviews on Google. It's just like anytime I go over there and help somebody like that, like I just tell them, hey, like I'll just charge you like $100. Just leave me a Google review and like a review on Facebook and stuff like that. It's like I get you know this sucks. You're having a bad day. I can help you out. I don't really want to, but I'll try to be nice. And I feel bad for people. It's like, man, if you're you know out in the middle of nowhere and your freaking frame or the spring hanger on your camper breaks, like what are most people going to do? I mean, like I don't even know, aside from taking it to a welding shop, like I don't know if a camper repair place would deal with that, but you're kind of stuck on the side of the road. So I mean, I try to help people, but like there's some stuff people bring out here where it's like, no, I can't fix that, man. Like I can't weld your trailer hitch back on when there's no frame there to weld it to. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not a miracle worker. That's hilarious. It's made its way up to Michigan, huh? So yeah, so I used to have a Dynasty 200 DX. Actually, I had a Synchrowave 351. It's like one of those big ass corner refrigerator units that I bought. That was well, I shouldn't say my first TIG welder, but that was like when I started the business, that was my first like actual like TIG welder. I used it for a couple of years, and then I bought that Dynasty 200, and it was like such a night and day difference. And I mean, you go from a refrigerator to like a little unit, and then I think I had it a year, and then I sold it and bought a 200 DX or 210 DX, excuse me, and I still have that one. Let's see what else. But that's hilarious that it ended up in Michigan and one of y'all ran across it. That's pretty damn funny. I've done a few of those campers, but only out of pity. The last one was stuck in the steepest grade out here. Oh, yikes. Yeah, I guess I didn't think about people doing that in the mountains. Here, it's usually like there's a McDonald's there that people like turn into the McDonald's and it breaks the hanger off. Like, actually, I had one where it broke the stub off of the axle, and I welded that back on for him. I was like, I was never here. You don't know me. I'm sorry about your luck, but like if it falls off, you don't know me, but hopefully that'll get you home. Yeah, I have a buddy that, well, I guess I shouldn't say buddy. I did some work I used to know a guy that did stuff like that, and like fixed really screwed up crap like that. And actually, he stiffed me on a job, and I haven't talked to him since then. So, but yeah, he did a lot of stuff like that where if like the axle and stuff's like underneath the thing or it's really screwed up, he would deal with it. But too much work for me. Let's see. Seems like all the campers out there. Oh yeah. Campers and like those like crappy like Tractor Supply trailers, like people load like big golf carts on them or side by sides, and it's like, yeah, they're just junk. Like I really surprised how like flimsy the campers are. It's like, man, you can hardly even run like a 60-10 on some of the frames on those just because you blow a hole in it even as low as you go just to light up a 60-10. Like they're junk. Like they're definitely disposable. Let's see what else we got here. Oh wow, it's 10:30. So let's see, what was I gonna say? Yeah, great. Actually it's fun hanging out on here. It's kind of getting kind of late. I got to take one of my kids to academic competitions in the morning, so I should probably hop off here. But yeah, this was fun. I really enjoy these. So everybody that's watching, check back 9:00 on Friday nights, and then also tomorrow. Saturday nights, check out on Instagram I am at a cozy gun. And my buddy that I'm doing the podcast live with is Crosscut Tab. Check us out on there. And should be fun. Anyway, yeah, I'm getting a little punch drunk here because it's been a long week. So yeah, next week, or I guess in the morning, video should be up for going through all my sanitary welding stuff and the tools, and mostly hand tools, because really you don't need a whole lot of welders. You just need, I've got a Maxstar 161, and then that's really all that I carry and kind of my go-to stuff there. So let's see. Good night. Well, it seems like I'll do the mechanics. That would, I would assume so. Let's see. I would assume people that are mechanics and welders, if you're going up in the mines somewhere where there's a lot of industry like that, I would assume they make very good money. I don't know. I can't speak to that though. Yep. So Sparks, Jay Woody, who else has been on here? Jabberwocky, everybody else. I guess looks like there's 10 people on there still. I hope you all have a great evening. Please check back for video coming up in the morning. And then, thank you all for tuning in. Check back next week there. Check me out on Instagram there. And we're doing another live tomorrow night at 8:00. So thank y'all. Have a good evening. Oh, wait. One more question there. I hate to. So sanitary guys, yeah, I'm net 30. As far as payment goes. If you got any more questions, like just, feel free to shoot me a DM. I'll be happy to answer them. Yeah, I do like net 30. Any company that's more than net 30, like I just don't really like to work with, because it's like, man, I need my money. Like I have a buddy that does a lot of work for Nucor, and I mean, some of his stuff is like net 90 at minimum. And it's like, dude, how do you, and I mean, he does, I think like $1.5 million a year. And it's like, how do you work your cash flow when, you got 90 or 100, 120 days to get paid? Definitely not my thing. I stick with net 30. Anyway, thank y'all. Have a good evening. Check back next week. And I'm going to try and make this a regular thing at 9:00 on Friday nights. Have a good evening, everyone.